Isn't that cool? We've got this whole forest back here. 2 acres of this green lusciousness. And I was coming back here to see if I can get some pictures of a few things that I saw that I really liked. But listen to this. And the birds. Look at this place. Made a bit of a trail actually last weekend, and which gets us further back, but listen to that, just that quiet trickling water. Anyhow, one thing I wanted to do before the month ends, because I want to do this every month, and I did it last month. I'll link to it, link. I'll put a link in below on a series that I want to do once a month. And if I thought I heard something, and if I get even more or more requests or something like that, I'll do it maybe twice or something. But get a lot of look at this. If you may not be familiar with this particular plant, we got lots of it here, but it's if you could smell it, it would smell like a skunk or sulfur. So it's called skunkweed or skunk cabbage, and there's lots of it. Not my yard, it's a neighbor's yard. He gets the swamp. Me? Oh, I could smell it. Whew. Hey, I think there was a frog. No, I don't know. Anyways, I know this is getting I always chit-chat so much, but I mean, it is really nice back here. Anyhow, what was I saying? Skunk cabbage. Oh yeah, so I get a lot of questions. I get them in person too, but I thought, well, I'll just cover the ones that I've got in YouTube. And so I thought, hey, I know, I'll do a Q&A back here in our new, we're gonna make a little place to hang out back here. Because here, I'll show you how to get down here, this section, down to, stick there, and there. And look, we have a little bridge put in. Check it out. See? Oh, don't step on the edge. Yeah. Isn't that nice? Just a nice sound of trickling water. Moss everywhere. So it's really nice. Anyways, I thought I'd set up somewhere here and do a Q&A, or your questions answered. Can't hear anything. Maybe a little bit. Okay, so let me find a spot to sit down and hang out, and we'll be right back. Okay, I think I've got the spot. It's nice. Okay, so I put together a bunch of questions. I don't know, I'm gonna get really distracted by the birds. I know it. Oh, it's so nice. Okay, so thanks to everybody for asking questions and wondering, you know, what's going on and why I do things and why things are done, and, you know, all kinds of stuff. So I'm gonna go through, I've got a bunch of questions on my phone. I figured it was easiest. rather than a piece of paper or something. So hopefully it's a nice setting to go over these things. Okay, so questions. A lady who has got a horse that, let's see, it's a 17-year-old. She says that the horse lacks confidence, seems to be anxious, paws at the ground a lot. Why? Why do horses paw at the ground? Well, there could be a few reasons, and this was sort of triggered by a video I did, and I'll try to link it to below. But the horse that I was with was pawing at the ground before going into the water. And in fact, once horses get into water, they'll start to paw, but it's a different story. So the other thing that she would also do is paw when getting into a trailer. She would also paw if we were in the arena and she didn't really kind of want to do something. So there are a lot of reasons. That particular horse was pawing because she was trying to tell me she didn't want to do something. The idea that a horse is anxious, so they paw, very true, happens all the time. If you tie them up, they'll paw. If you sort of stand around and don't really do things with them. See, I'm so distracted, I can hear all kinds of things back here. It's so quiet, your ears become really sensitive. So they'll paw for all kinds of reasons. It is a lot to do with anxiety. But also recognize that sometimes horses will paw to get a feel of things. They'll paw if they want to find out if they can dig something, if they can go through something, if they'll be able to step on something. But mostly that stuff that you see comes from, anxiety, where they're kind of worried. They want to do something else. But essentially what they're telling you is they want to move. They don't want to be where they are. So to get through that, most of the time, so this is most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time you'll get through that by getting them to stop doing that. And you might just lift their head, or you might move their head around, or you might pet them, or you might back them up, or you might bring them forward, and then just reassure them, let them know everything's okay. In other cases, you might need to move them around a little bit. You could do a half circle exercise. If you have the space, you could do a full circle exercise. If you have just a little space, you could do a backwards and forward exercise where they just move backwards and forward a step or two. So you'll start to change their mind. And if you can catch it before they start to paw, you'll do even better. So, but it's really moment by moment and what you might get compared to if you don't get it, then what do you do, sort of thing. So I would say mostly though, if you can move their feet and then stop them, reassure them, and see if they begin again. If they do, try to stop them before it happens, move them around a little more, pet them, let them know they're okay. I think you do pretty good. Okay, I get this question a lot, so I thought I'd answer it. People ask me what kind of saddle I use. I've got a few saddles. The main saddle I use, which you see in most of the videos of me riding, is actually a treeless saddle by a company that's not even around anymore. They went out of business because there's a better company that has better marketing and a better brand name, and their product is probably better. I haven't used it. I've seen it. It looks pretty good. But I don't have one yet. I'll probably get one day because they're them and another one. The company that does them is called Sensation, and the other one is called Barefoot. Two treeless saddles around here, but not the one I've got. Anyways, I really like it. It's very comfortable, and I found that I've become a much stronger rider by riding in a treeless saddle. It's not for everybody. It's not for everything. It's not for every situation, for sure. But most of my riding is done in that. Yep. The style is pretty much just an endurance style. It's got a little pommel and a little cantle on the back and lots of places to put a saddlebag and stuff, and works well. Okay, a question is a very valid question. If you're out and about with your horse, you're taking them for a walk. I've done a few videos of walking, and one of the questions that comes up, well, what do you do if the horse bolts? What do you do if the horse tries to take off on you? You're out and in the middle, say I was out here with a horse, the horse just tried to take off on me, I don't know if they'd get very far. Well, they probably would, but in theory, before you even think about going anywhere, you should have good groundwork skills with the horse, with yourself. They should recognize when you want them to stop moving. They should recognize when you want them to go, turn, everything. So, a couple bugs here. So the answer to that is easy, relatively easy. Is it that it doesn't really happen? If they're already getting edgy, I'm already moving them a little bit. I'm already stopping them and backing them up and petting them and telling them it's okay. If a horse were to get to a point where it would bolt on me, something would have had to really surprise it, or I would have been partially asleep of some sorts. Catch these things before they happen. If a horse does try to take off, and it has happened, so I'm not saying it doesn't, you got to go with it as much as you can, or they'll just pull you along. So you got to be a quick runner, try to hang on to the rope, and try to get their nose pulled around. Probably the only thing that's going to save you. Get that nose turned around, the butt will go the other way, and hopefully you can stop them and calm them and then get them under control again. So if you encounter other people and stuff like that, what do? Just try to continue on as normal and be aware. You know, no different than anything you would treat the horse with if they're worried about something. Again, you're not taking these horses out without a reasonable amount of training and practice in a closed place like an arena or a round pen. So you've already got those tools in place to solve those problems. So the answers will come to you because you've already done them. Asking me, I won't give the answer you're probably looking for because it doesn't happen because the tools are in place once in a while. So, okay, a difficult question actually, but I'll cover it. And what do you do with clients that are kind of rough with their horses, or they don't do what you think is the right thing for the horse? That's a very difficult thing to do, and it's all about diplomacy. It's all about being polite and kind. You can't, I mean, unless it really comes down to it, you're not going to really get mad or get rough. It won't do any good. Like dealing with any problem. You get more bees when you use honey than you do vinegar, or is it flies? More flies with honey? I don't know. Anyways, the thing is you have to be reasonable, you have to be understanding, you have to put yourself in the position of the person that is trying to deal with a problem that they know one way to do it. If you happen to be a person that knows a lot about how to solve problems, maybe you're a teacher of special needs children. This is a great example. And a parent has had a coping mechanism for a while. This is an advanced question maybe. But the teacher's seen a few more students than your kid, and they'll have a couple more tricks up their sleeve. And so you just hope that they'd listen. And if they don't, well, you kind of win some and lose some, but the bottom line is to be understanding and caring and understanding, because you won't help the horse if you don't help the person, so you got to help the person to help the horse. And just find new tricks that work for the both of them. Work for the owner, work for the horse. And hopefully they work together. And if not, then there's always the advice to say, you know, perhaps a different horse is going to work for you. That's a hard one. Again, moment by moment sort of situation. Zeus. Is Zeus a cross between a corgi and a cattle dog? We think so. We see a lot of healers. If you don't know what a healer is, it looks like Zeus. But Zeus kind of looks like a corgi. He's got those stumpy little legs. And he's not with me right now, but you've seen him 100 times. And so yeah, he's part corgi, part something. Maybe a healer. Yeah. Thanks for asking. How many horses do you own? 3. You guys have seen them. Luke, Lena, Macaroni. Just 3 right now. Thinking of a 4th. I'll get into that in another video. I need another horse like a hole in the head. Okay, what breed of horse is the Pinto? It's a funny one. Thanks, Kathy. Is it an Icelandic or part draft or terribly obese? Yeah, Lena's fat. She's always been fat. We've had a hard time getting that off. She eats a lot and doesn't get a lot of exercise per se, or enough to kind of burn that off, but she's always pretty big. She is part draft and she's part Oldenburg as far as we understand. We don't know for sure. There's no papers. She came from sort of a rescue situation, and so we don't really know. But that's what she looks like. Yeah, big feet, long mane, big tail, big butt. Got to be draft. Okay, did you ever figure out how the Mustang tangles up her mane? Yeah, quite a few people had the answer. Thanks everybody for answering. They essentially just rub on stuff, and up and down and left and right and around, and pretty soon it just turns into, I mean, it's no different if you just took your hair and did that. It wouldn't be too long before you tangled it up. Next, do you see bears on your property? What do the horses do when you see wildlife, essentially? Yeah, we get bears once in a while. Can't help but wonder if there's one out here now. I'm pretty noisy, so probably wouldn't come around. What do the horses do? They hone in on it. They look at it and stare at it. So horses are actually really great for that, because I swear there's something out there. Horses are really great for that because they just kind of hone in on it and they look at it real close. And I got them. And you can then tell where the animal is. Usually it's a deer, coyote. Once in a while it's a bear. They don't really do anything. They just kind of wander on and do their own thing. Poo in the arena all the time. Okay, I don't know how many more I got. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 more. 3 more. Okay, do you use bug spray on your horses? Yes. We're getting into fly season now. I'm going to talk about fly season pretty soon. And one of the... I mean, it's a big problem. Yeah, we get a lot of flies. And that's what ends up causing that sweet itch problem. So, fly spray is a must. And I would recommend using the oil-based stuff, not the water-based stuff. You can make your own though. There's lots of recipes out there for making fly spray. Yes, I use fly spray. Plus, it's a very good idea to get your horse used to the spray bottles. They hate them, usually. Plus, they don't like the feel of it landing on their skin. So, they get a little worried. Good thing to use on them in practice. Oh yeah, a drone question. I've done a couple of videos with drones in them. Somebody asked, how come the horses don't react very much to the drone? Aren't they very loud and shrill? Yeah, they're loud. Some of them are super loud. Some of them are quieter. Drones worry horses. They fly. They're magical. If you can acclimate them to it, they'll be stronger for it. It'll be another one of those things that they sort of worry about and then don't worry about. So it's well worth, you know, finding somebody who has one and helping your horses out. Plus you get some really cool videos. But yeah, usually they get pretty worried, and you have to be very careful when flying around them because you don't want to crash into them and you don't want them to flick their tail and get it in the props. And so, but if you work on it, then they get pretty good. Somebody said, anyone else expecting him to jump the fence? This was, I think, it doesn't say, but it was a video of one of the horses in the arena, and he's running around and running around, and they all just run around and run around. And you kind of think, well, are they going to jump the fence? Are they going to leap out and stuff? It is really unusual, super unusual to see a horse jump over a fence, in my opinion, unless they're really scared, really worried, have been kind of forced out. Horses don't jump that well naturally. It doesn't occur to them to really do that, so they don't. No. That's it for now. That's the April 2018. Your questions answered. Let's gather you up here. This is where you guys are sitting, in the shrubbery log. So yeah, beautiful area. Hopefully that's been kind of interesting. I can see we're at about 15 minutes now, so I tried to make it quick. I don't want you guys to have to sit through too much if you're sitting through it. But look at this place. It is so beautiful. Look. Isn't that cool? See? Nice. Anyhow, I guess I'll head back, or actually I'll see if I can get those pictures that I wanted to take. Okay, well, hopefully that's been pretty interesting. If you have any more questions, let me know anytime. Happy to answer them. Hopefully my answers are good. Some of them are my opinion, some are actual science. Some are true, tested and tried and true. That's how it goes. So, everything's just coming in. All the leaves, all the moss is really starting to glow. Okay, I'm gonna end that there. So, thanks for watching, everybody. If you watched this far, I really appreciate it. I really appreciate all the questions. If you have any more, you let me know anytime. Stick them in the comments below. Email me. If you know me in person, ask me. Happy to answer stuff if I can answer it. If not, I'll try to find the answer. Okay, that's it. I'm out. Talk to you guys soon.